Welcome to the Taco Cast. I'm Crystal,
I'm Will.
and you're our audience. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Sunday. So, we're not in our other new studio because I'm lazy and I don't want to go sit in it right now because it's warm in here and it's cold in there. Um, so, dead air. Bill's going to cut that out. Sorry.
Yep.
Anyways, we're coming up on Christmas. I've been super busy. Will has also been busy. So we don't actually have a whole lot prepared today. So we had a couple of topics we were going to touch on. And let's just get into that then, rather than my weird stuttering intro that I'm doing. And yes, I'm still wearing my bathrobe because I'm busy. Life is busy. I'm so busy.
Just a relaxing day.
Yeah. Sunday, I'm not doing anything. Well, making tacos for dinner, but outside of that, I'm not doing anything. Will, unfortunately, has a lot of work to do. Hey, but you've got good news. Do you want to share, the tournament you were in yesterday?
Me and my friends played in a charity golf tournament yesterday for Make-A-Wish Foundation, and we won that tournament. And we were, it was it was a really good day overall. And besides the fact that we played, really great golf, we just had a blast. It was just a relaxing day where we spent most of the day razzing on each other and just joking around and having just a great time. And we golfed on top of it, obviously, but it was probably one of the better tournaments we've ever played in because we were relaxed and we weren't worried about everything else out there. We're just like, you know what, screw it, let's just have fun, and it worked out. So then I got hacked. Apparently, what I'm learning from my wife and my daughter is one password for every social media account. Not a good idea because someone hacked my account and they opened up a GoFundMe accounts for a memorial fund for someone who's not even dead. Your father-in-law. Your stepfather.
I was like, my father-in-law?
Your stepfather.
Yeah, he's still around.
Yeah, very much alive. But yeah, I had to change all my passwords. GoFundMe wouldn't close the GoFundMe's down. So what I did was I tried to remove the link from everywhere I found it and emails, and that's how I found out about that I was hacked. Was I got a notice on my phone this morning that said that I had received a donation to my GoFundMe, and I'm like, what? I don't have a GoFundMe. Why would I need a GoFundMe? So then I clicked on it, and I'm like, for Don? Why would I need a GoFundMe for him? I, So, but I messaged them and I said, hey, this is not me. I never made these, and they're not one but three separate GoFundMes. I don't know why they needed three of them, but they opened three of them. So. Social media sucks.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does actually. I was making a post on someone else's. I was talking to someone else, and I got a warning from Facebook saying, "Are you sure you want to say this? This looks like something similar that we've removed, and we've given people." I don't remember how it was phrased, but basically it was like, "Are you sure you want to say this? You could get in trouble." And I was like, "I'm pretty sure that my friend can handle me using an F-bomb, but thanks, Facebook."
Yeah.
Which is weird. I've talked a while back. Facebook started shutting down anti-vax pages and Nazi pages and stuff like that. And while on the one hand, I'm okay with it, I'm actually not, because those kinds of things always turn around and bite people in the ass. There's a doctor that I follow who recently had her entire channel taken down as an anti-vax site, even though that's not the content that she produces. She is very much about the science of vaccines and posts information about how they're produced and what they're produced, and she's not an anti-vaxxer, and yet she got caught up in that web, and I eventually you're going to be on the other end of that, so it's not even it's not a good, it seems like a good idea on the outset, but somebody let me see if I can articulate my thoughts well. As much as it sounds like a good idea, I think everybody who thinks that that is a good idea should consider how they're going to feel if they wind up on the other side of that censorship, because it will always happen.
Speaking of Nazis, so I did a video on my other channel about Anne Frank and her memorial in Memorial Park in Boise, Idaho, was vandalized by Nazis, and they plastered stickers all over it, with swastikas, and the message "We're always here," and stuff like that. And I had a bunch of hateful comments, people bigoted comments, and anti-Semitic comments on YouTube. I tried to, I know, right? I tried to remove as many of them as I could as they popped up, but then YouTube locked up the comment section because people were like, you can't say that. That's not true. They were trying to defend, me and what was going on. I don't know if they went after the people, who were actually leaving these comments, but YouTube, they locked it up.
That's an interesting thing to
That's a
consider.
fundraiser too for the Anti-Defamation League.
So, we were just discussing, eventually you're going to wind up on the other side of censorship. But there's a trolling technique where people basically just flood pages full of bullshit. And it really stifles people from having good, productive conversations, because you have to wait, and eventually people give up. You're trying to have a conversation with somebody, but the pages and the comments are just full of troll spamming and flooding it, and yet when the content creators turn around and block and ban those people, they get accused of censorship and all this other stuff. Yep. And a lot of the creators that I was talking to talk about balancing where do you walk on that line between these people are actively disrupting discourse and, not censoring. Some of the creators are just flat out, it's my channel, it's my page, I can do what I want. If you want to talk about whatever, make your own page, Kicking you off of my page is not censorship, that's just me not putting up with your bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. And I think I tend to fall on that line. Like, on the one hand, I don't believe that people should be deplatformed. But on the other hand, if you're shit-talking on somebody else's platform, them not putting up with you isn't you being censored. It's just someone not putting up with you. It was actually a conversation that I'd had with somebody who was trying to troll like that. And it's like, I have a right to say that, And I was like, well, you do. But nowhere in the Constitution does it say that Bob has a right to say this, and no one can tell him he's wrong. Yeah. That's nowhere in there.
A lot of people, when it comes to like YouTube and their policies and what they do, there's never a constitutional issue there, because it is a private company, and YouTube themselves can shut down anybody they want. They don't have to let anybody post, to their channel, make anybody, create content. But at the same time, though, they have a political agenda, and they have an ideology that they're very clearly pushing, even though they say they're not. It's like, come on, YouTube. It's very clear what you will actually, bump up in the feed, and what you will suggest to people.
I was watching a creator last week who had talked about having one of his videos shadow banned.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens more and more frequently.
Yep. There's content on my channel, my other channel, that people can't find. You have to actually know the exact title of that video, and then put it in the search box, and then you'll find it on my channel. But if you go to my channel and you look at all the videos, you just can't find them. They're not there. And every one of them, of those videos, has been on law enforcement, pro law enforcement, and talking about the negative issues around law enforcement and Leos. It's like the suicide rate for officers, is going through the roof, especially in the last couple of years, as budgets have been slashed for departments. They're cutting back on training, and they're cutting back on mental health, awareness and counseling for officers, especially those who have on the job PTSD. They've just slashed the budgets completely for them, and suicide rates have gone up. I made videos about them. I have like 3 of them, and you can't find them unless you actually go and look for that exact title. That you have to know the title and then search for it on my YouTube. But they're sandbox. Mm. If they want to, have you here on the platform, they will. If they don't, no. I mean, look, we only have 300 subscribers to this channel. We should have a lot more. But
I'm a freaking delight. I don't know.
I know, right? If you don't tune in for me, tune in for her. Tune in to listen to what Crystal has to come up with next.
The lazy wife who hasn't even bothered to put on a prosthetic today, because I'm just like, I am not feeling about dealing with boobs. Mm-mm. I was thinking about that the other day when I was looking at the prosthetic, and I was like, I just don't feel like putting it on. I was thinking about when I finally do get the reconstructive surgery, I'm like, I can't just opt to have a no boob day.
This is true.
Nowadays,
unless they're detachable.
Right. Well, I asked if when they made the new boobs, if they could put lasers in, and I was told that I wasn't allowed to weaponize them. But
you cannot weaponize them?
You can't weaponize them.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
They're taking away all your fun.
Right?
I think that might be a constitutional issue right there.
I think it might be. But yeah, I was looking at the prosthetic, and I was like, I'm just not feeling the boobs today. I was like, once I finally get that reconstructive surgery, it's always going to be a boob day. I'm not going to be able to just be like, nah, not feeling the boobs. And I recall, I wasn't really, I wasn't prepared for how much I was actually going to miss them once I'd had my mastectomy, because I had a rather contentious relationship with them. They were, in my opinion, large and unwieldy, and they just got in the way, and my shirts didn't fit right. They were always, pulling in the front, and I don't think Will had a problem.
Nope, didn't have a problem at all.
But, yeah, I kind of expected to be happy once they were gone, and I actually wasn't. I was like, oh, I actually miss them, even though, punching them into the boob holster.
Wow. You had to do that. Then again, I've never had boobs, so
yeah,
I don't miss them.
It's just so much maintenance. I had these giant divots in my shoulder because they were so huge and heavy, and they were just like pulling the straps. And until my daughter actually introduced me to Torrid, and before that a friend of mine introduced me to Lane Bryant, and until that time every bra that I'd had was just like rebar and scaffolding, and it was all tan or white, and it all looked like something that I raided from someone's great-great-grandmother's closet. They were just, and I envied my friend that had the tiny little perfect perky boobs, and she always had all these adorable little lacy bras, and mine were just like canvas. I was very envious, and then a friend of mine was like, have you tried this store? And I was like, oh, a row of bras that fit and are pretty.
Okay.
Hey, if you're a dude, you probably don't understand. We have a lot of women that watch this channel. I'm guessing you do understand. A nice bra that fits very well, that isn't made out of canvas and twine and rebar, is such an amazing thing. And they had all these pretty bras that fit, and I was just like, eee! And I bought like $250 worth of them, and then like was it 2 weeks later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I'm a huge cheapskate, so I still have them in a bag. I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the doctor when I get the reconstructive surgery. I'm gonna hand in the bag and be like, I need the new boobs to fit these. I'm getting my $250 worth.
I thought you were gonna go size smaller.
I was thinking about going a size smaller. He said he couldn't go too much bigger or smaller because they build the new breast around the base that your body made, when you were growing the factory originals. So he said he could go a little bit smaller. And when I was asking him why, I was like, how much smaller could you go? And he said if they go too much bare, like they fall out or something like that, and if they could do too much smaller, they could collapse. I was a little bit traumatized by what he was saying, so I didn't get the entire gist of it, but I was like, my whole boobie could just be like, that sounds awful. So.
Mono boob.
Yeah, well, he also wouldn't do 6 of them to make me a cat.
What?
Yeah.
I think you need a doctor.
Honestly, I was like, okay, look, so could we get lasers? And he was like, no. And I was like, could I get just like one giant boob in the middle? And he was like, also no. And I'm like, okay, well, could I get like 6 of them and I could be a cat? And he was like, get out of my office.
I mean, those all sound like such great ideas.
Right? I mean, because there's absolutely nothing creepy at all about having your wife sitting there with, 3 bikini tops on.
No, nothing odd here at all, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing odd at all. So, earlier we were talking about some satellite.
Oh, the Hyugu?
I
don't think I pronounced that correctly. In my defense, it's been like 7 years since I've taken Japanese. A satellite that was launched in 2014 to do some subsurface mining of the Ryugu asteroid. Came
Roku?
back. Not Roku, honey. It's Ryugu, and the Ryu is like a weird kind of Ryugu.
Oh, okay.
In class, my instructor would stare at me because I had to seriously over enunciate it or I would never get it correctly. She was so cute too.
So what about the satellite? It mined something.
Oh
bring back millions of dollars worth of mining.
Millions of dollars worth of mining.
Oh.
Actually, so the capsule that they recovered, so it went up, and it's continuing its mission. It basically went to the asteroid, mined it, came back, dropped off a package, and then is flying back off to go do some more asteroid mining.
Really?
Yeah. So the capsule it dropped off as well is only like there's a picture of one of the Japanese aeronautics, and he's holding this thing, but the capsule is just like this tiny little thing. But it got from subsurface, which is actually pretty rare, and they're hoping to see whether or not it has got what kind of materials it has in there. They're thinking it might have.
How far away is this? Where it went?
Like billions of miles.
Really?
But I mean, I guess in space terms, it's not that much. So if I'm remembering correctly, because there's like a couple of different asteroid fields or whatever. So there's one primary one that I want to say is like closer to the sun. It's like between Mars. Anyways, as far as we know, it was formed around the same time that the rest of the solar system was formed. And there's some debate about how water actually wound up on Earth. So the theory, the original hypothesis was that when the planets were forming, it was super hot, which obviously they weren't, right? And there was a sun right there, and it was all super hot. So that if there was any water that was on the planet at the time it was formed, it would evaporate, and there was no atmosphere to trap it, so it would just dissipate off into space. So the assumption was that Earth was dry when it was formed, and our water came from outside sources, frozen asteroids that were hitting the planet, and then, the water would stay and all of that. What they're hoping to find in the asteroid is maybe some amino acids and stuff like that that would support that hypothesis, in addition to other stuff they're wanting to know what the asteroids are made of and whatnot. So Other research indicates that water was formed at the time that our planet was forming, but that not all of it, and that a lot of our water did come from outside the planet, but that we did actually have our own water when it formed. I'm saying we, like we had an active hand in making the planet, or, billions of years before humans were even a thought, and it made the planet, and the humans were like,
I always assumed
cabbage.
that water was always here.
I had always assumed that too, but from what I'm understanding, from what I was reading, they're thinking no. Or at least they were thinking no, and now they're thinking yes, some of it. But, I guess it makes sense, because when you think of the planet forming,
when the building blocks of life, you have to have water.
Yes. Well, okay.
Are there amino acids on Mars?
Actually, I believe so.
There's no water there.
But I believe that they found some amino acids
on Mars.
On Mars.
What about Saturn?
I don't think that they found out.
A lot of rock.
Are amino acids on Mars?
And stay tuned while Crystal does her Googling.
Yes, there are amino acids on Mars.
Okay.
Let me take that back. Amino acids were found on a Martian meteorite. Well, whatever. Yeah, life as we know it on this planet requires water, amino acids. To be fair, though, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not another vehicle for life that developed in a different solar system some way else. Let's be fair, just because this is how it happened here doesn't mean it can't happen in a different way elsewhere.
Is there another Earth out there?
Probably. I mean, in an infinite universe.
Is it infinite?
The universe is infinite.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just,
Just a flat Earth?
Right?
No, yeah, actually. And we've identified several planets that are similar to Earth. That, so in order to be habitable to life, it has to be in a fairly narrow zone where the water is allowed to flow freely. Right? So it can't be steam. It can't be frozen. So it's got to be in a pretty narrow band, close to its sun, and that range is going to change based on how hot that sun is. Farther or closer. But yeah, we've actually identified several planets.
A third rock from the sun.
Yes. In fact, there's one that's, I believe, relatively close to us.
Other people there?
Proxima B, I believe, is what it's called. No, there's not people there. Well, I mean, fuck it, there might be. There might be people there. I don't think so. I don't think that they've identified a biosphere. But then, to be fair, I haven't, But yeah, we have a ton of planets that are potentially have life on them. But like I was saying, just because
I've met some of the people from those planets.
Just because that's how life functions here, I mean, it's I don't know. It seems to me like there's a ton of stuff that we don't understand, and it would be conceivable that there would be another mechanism for life.
Okay. I'm not an astronaut or working in the space industry, so I have no idea.
I mean, I don't know either. Nothing.
Every once in a while, I might, see something, a little blurb here or there on the news. But
well, and
I didn't know anything about this satellite thing until I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah, it landed in Australia, and it's like a nature preserve.
Landed.
Well, yeah, it literally got shot into our atmosphere, and basically the little explorer thing was like, here, okay, I'm gone.
So it didn't actually. I thought you said it landed here and then.
It landed on the asteroid, mined the asteroid, did a flyby Earth, spit its little capsule out, and then went on to its next mission.
What's the next mission?
To mine another asteroid. a different asteroid.
Okay. What do we need the amino acids for?
Amino acids are the building blocks of DNA.
Right. I understand that part. So, if they find the amino acids, then what?
They do science things.
They do sciencey things.
So, yeah, researchers are always looking for the origins of organic life on our planet. Did it arise by itself? Did it come from outside? Were we seeded by asteroids? Was the formation of the planet incompatible with those criteria, and so whatever happened had to have come from outside?
Okay. Huh. Well, I learned something new about this asteroid.
Yeah.
And I learned that you can't have 6 boobies. And I learned that having one password for all social media is not a good idea.
Say, look at all the things you learned this week.
Right? I hope that you learned something from all this. Oh. Anything else you'd like to talk about this morning? Christmas? Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming. The final countdown. Oh, we should have had a little thing. We could, hit the play button. It's a final countdown.
But I'd get demonetized.
Oh, so you're going to have to cut that part out too?
No.
Singing it?
No.
I don't know how that works.
It's actually not that difficult. You can't play the music or a video that belongs to somebody else unless you're doing a critique of it. And then you must fill 60% of the time that it's actually playing with, music or whatever, talking over it or making commentary or pointing out things that are good.
What about like free use music? Can you use that?
There's free use music, but that song is not free use.
What about if your wife starts singing it?
Yeah, then you can sing it, as long as you're not trying to commercially, earn from it.
So I can't be like, I wrote this.
Yeah, that would be illegal.
I didn't write that, by the way. I don't write music.
Who sang that song? I don't even know. Final countdown. I'm sure somebody will put in the comment section.
You'd probably just say Journey, because every song that I'm not sure who wrote it was written by Journey.
It could have been written by Journey. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's probably Journey. No, I think this is a symphony. Journey did symphonies. They did that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've learned a lot this week. Yeah. I learned that there are people out there that will do anything and everything to... I don't understand why they hacked me. I get that. Great. And then I started posting, on my social media and on YouTube in the community section. And they posted on Discord. I was looking at it this morning after I'm sitting here going through and deleting all the messages and links and everything else I could find. And on Discord, they spelled my damn name wrong. I'm like, damn, come on, people. If you're gonna hack me, at least spell my name right. It's William. William. Not one L. That's all they spelled it with, just one L. Yeah. I got hacked by people when the one post said that I was going to do a live later on the evening, afternoon, or something like that. I can't remember how it was worded, but I was like, I don't think English is their first. Whoever did it, I don't think English is their first main language, because it was like, I'm reading it, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Afternoon, evening. Okay, whatever. I don't know what they were planning on doing, if they were ever going to do a live stream, as me.
That'd be kind of cool. That way you'd at least see who they looked like.
Yeah. Well, I had to change my passwords for all my social media, but I also had to change it for AdSense for YouTube. So I was like, I don't even getting hacking in and getting my money from from my channel. We're not monetized on this one yet.
Oh, so I can play music.
No, you still don't want to piss off the YouTube moderators, and because their system. But anything else new this week?
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah, the COVID vaccine starts rolling out for healthcare providers. Because I don't have direct patient contact anymore, I'm down in the tier.
But... Oh, so are you gonna get the vaccine?
As soon as I'm able, yeah.
I'm not.
That you're not a healthcare worker, honey.
Well, I'm not gonna get the vaccine.
Why not?
Because I don't want to have to, in 4 years from now, have to watch a commercial about.
Oh my God!
Did you take the COVID vaccine? You might be entitled to, your compensation for your injuries.
It's not new technology.
I don't want that. I don't want to have to be calling a lawyer in 4 years from now going, yeah, I grew a third arm out of my back because of this COVID.
Oh my God. Okay, look, here's the thing.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, we do know.
Do we?
We do know.
What are you gonna recite some kind of like sciencey stuff?
I'm just gonna tell you, it's not new.
Yeah, but you're part of the propaganda.
We've had mRNA vaccine technology for a long time. It's just not viable for large scale because it has to be frozen.
Okay. And
it's literally just the way it works is actually safer than live vaccine because it's just a tiny bit. Okay. All right. So when you get infected with the virus co-opts your cellular mechanism to replicate itself. Viruses aren't self-replicating. They use your body. Right? So they take their RNA, inject it into your cell, and then trick your cells into replicating virus. Okay? That's what happens when you get sick. So if you get COVID, that is what's going to happen to you. COVID is going to be like, make more of me, and your cells are going to be like, sung out more COVID viruses. mRNA technology uses that same mechanism, but with just a tiny piece of virus. So your body, rather than making a whole virus, just makes the little spike protein. Bloop. And then your antibody cells are like, what the fuck is this? And then they eat it. And they're like, okay, guys, this is what it looks like. If you fucking see it, destroy it. So now you have immunity, but you've never been infected because all your body made was this little tiny spike protein. Using the same mechanism COVID would make anyways. So anything that happened because of this vaccine would have happened when you got COVID. And you would have eventually gotten COVID because we're all going to eventually get COVID.
But
especially here.
Do we know about the side effects though? I saw in the news that there already been 2 people that had adverse reactions.
Okay, so a lot of people are talking about Bell's palsy. Bell's palsy happens even in people who aren't vaccinated. So yes.
What is Bell's palsy?
Basically, it's just like a temporary paralysis. So, here's the thing, is that even if you don't get vaccinated, you have like a 1 in 1,000 or whatever chance of getting it. And the rate in which Bell's palsy happened in the vaccine group was lower than what happened in the control group. Now, that doesn't mean the vaccine protects against Bell's palsy, because it still happened at roughly the same rate. It just means that there's not a correlation. Like some 20-something people also got pregnant. The vaccine does not make you pregnant.
It doesn't?
No, it does not.
Well, what good is the vaccine for me then?
So
I wanted to have a baby.
I don't know if you have one.
I have 2.
Oh no, try again.
It's so cute. Our son, that's one of our son's favorite things to say. Oh no, try again.
And he uses it in any situation. It's so cute. Like if you're doing something that makes him sad, like telling him he has to eat a vegetable. Oh no, try again. It's so cute. Or like he wanted to fall asleep on me the other day, and I go to like move him so that he's not. I'm using his mother for a mattress, and he wakes up as I'm moving him off to the side, and he looks at me and crawls back up on me and goes, "Oh no, try again."
Yeah. He was getting done taking his shower yesterday, and I get him out, and I'm drying him off, help him dry off, and I got his bathrobe right there for him, and I go hand it to him, and I have it like held up so he can put his arms into his bathrobe, and he puts one arm in and then takes the whole thing, and goes, oh no, try again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so cute. I just started laughing, and he thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, he's adorable. But yeah, so when you're talking about vaccine trials, anything that happens during the course of the trial has to be included, okay? Even if it has nothing to do with the vaccine. And the next example I'm going to give you is something that has actually happened. Somebody in a vaccine trial was hit by a drunk driver and killed, and yet death is now still included because he died during the vaccine trial, even though nothing about the vaccine made the other dude get drunk and then plow into him. But still, that person's death is now included in part of the trial. So just because something happens in a vaccine trial does not mean that it correlates with the vaccine.
So, I'm still not getting it.
You aren't going to be eligible. You don't go anywhere, and you're not a healthcare healthcare worker, so you're relatively low risk.
I go to a lot of places.
You go to 2 places.
That's true. But I deal with a lot of old people.
You do. On the phone.
My friends are older.
You're right. You are kind of old, so you are in the risk category there.
Yeah, I should probably get it then.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to grow a third arm. I don't want it to
Okay, first off, let's roll this back though. We know the vaccine does not cause you to grow a third arm.
But even
if it did, wouldn't that be fucking great?
No.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
You've got a beverage in one hand, a phone in the other, and you're holding your taco. What?
See, that you were thinking of it that way. I would have to buy all new T-shirts. Yeah.
Please God, don't.
Yep. I mean, that or I have to cut a hole all in the T-shirts for the other arm to come out, and it would get cold because it doesn't have any sleeve on it.
If you grow a third arm, I will sew sleeves on your shirts for you.
Will you?
No, I don't sew. I used to, but I haven't sewn.
You have a sewing machine.
I got other stuff I'm doing.
Just like your craft room has been taken over by your daughter.
Yeah.
I was in there the other day. I was like, oh my God, what happened in here?
All right, let's sign off so these lovely people can go about their day.
Yeah, bye.
You all have a fine Sunday, and I hope you guys have a lovely Christmas or whichever seasonal.
Happy holiday, Hanukkah.
Happy holiday.
Kwanzaa. What else is there?
Yule.
Yule?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else?
Solstice. There's a ton. There are a ton of winter and winter adjacent holidays. And whichever one you celebrate, I hope you have a lovely one. And if you celebrate more than one, awesome. You're going to have a great December.
I can't wait for this year to be over with.
God, I can't either. This year has to die.
2020 has sucked so much for me. I can't wait for this year to be over with.
Oh, God.
Just want to gather up all the calendars for 2020 and burn them. Forget this year. All right. Bye.
Bye.